Hi, I'm Madison Mary and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please don't hesitate to click that subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's get into the vlog. So very excited. I have been planning this vlog for a hot minute, but I've been putting it off because I've had a lot of things to do. But this vlog is going to be me reading the 3 oldest books on my Netgalley. And the 3 oldest ones are actually from 2019, so I'm going to tell you which 3 those are right now. Where's my list? The Waking Forest by Alyssa Weiss, Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. The Waking Forest and Spin the Dawn are both YA. Waking Forest is YA fantasy mystery thriller, and Spin the Dawn is just YA fantasy, and Would Like to Meet is an adult romance. So I'm very excited to get into these. I will let you know more what these books are about once I've started them, and maybe I'm like 30-40% of the way through. And yeah, let's see how this goes. I have high hopes for these books because I did want to read them when I requested them, and I've heard great things about some of these since then, so let's get into the vlog. Hey, okay, so I know this is like a little bit dramatic, but I just started the prologue for this. It's like a page, and I'm already obsessed, and I already know that I'm going to be so annoyed with myself that I put this off for so long. So I'm just gonna read you like the very end of this 1-page prologue because it's good, okay? It goes, I would give up the sun and moon and stars if it meant saving him. Him, the boy with no name and yet 1,000 names. The boy whose hands are stained with the blood of stars. The boy I love. So exciting. Oh, I'm so pumped for this. It's gonna be so good. What's up? Okay, so I am like a third of the way through the book now, I think. I just got to a scene where it's like, shit's about to go down, so I was like, I'm gonna stop here so I can update because I don't want to like get into like spoilery territory because that's not what I do on this channel most of the time. This is the world where if you're a tailor, you're supposed to be a boy. It's only boys that are tailors. It's boys that are master tailors. There's no mistress tailor. Those don't exist. Because our main character, Maya, she has these 2 older brothers who went off to the war and were killed, and then her brother that was closest to her in age, he went to the war, came back with 2 broken legs, and her dad's just really depressed and hasn't done any work in years. So when the emperor is looking for a new tailor, her dad used to be really famous, so they are asking from a representative from his family. She ends up going, pretending to be her brother with the 2 broken legs because she's like, well, we're close in age. I've never really been that ladylike because I've always been a tailor. I've always been the one who kept our family afloat, and it's my passion. I'm the best one out of all of us, and I always have been, so I'll go and do it. And so she does the whole thing, you know, she binds her chest, she cuts her hair, but yeah, so she's had to keep her identity a secret while she's there doing these trials to see if she can become the emperor's select tailor, but she's competing with these 5 other master tailors. And it's really interesting because there is magic in this world, but it's considered like demon magic, and everyone kind of thinks of it differently, but the emperor does have these like sorcerers, including one that our main character, she ends up kind of becoming friends with. And I'm curious, like, I don't know if the romance is between her and the emperor, or between her and this sorcerer dude, and I really hope it's her and this sorcerer dude because I'm digging the sorcerer dude. I want to be like, his name's Adan, I think. I'll remember, but I really like him. He is hilarious. He's super powerful. So it's been really fun. I love the writing in this. It is really beautiful. Like, considering that this was her debut, wow. And I feel like if this is what she was like back in 2019, like, good God, what is she like now in 2021? Like, it is so beautifully written. It is just such an interesting magic system because you're slowly learning about how it works because magic isn't really revered. Everyone's very afraid of it. It reminds me of like some of the manhwas I've read on like Tapas and Tabitoon. I think if you're a huge fan of manga and manhwas, you'll definitely love this because it has like those kind of vibes in it, and I'm digging it so much. Yeah, that's a sexy enough angle. I just wanted to do a quick update because I am got like a third left of the book, and so I wanted to do an update before I finished it, and I'm really loving it. It's really fun. It definitely gets a lot more, I wouldn't say graphic, but like some of the trials that she's currently undergoing are definitely like more hardcore than I expected going into this. And the romance is adorable. It's like super slow burn, but it's also hilarious because neither of them like wants to be falling for another, and like the guy especially, like, he cannot. He's also 500 years old, but that's, you know, beyond the point. But I love him. If you liked from Legendborn by Tracy Dion. You will love the love interest in this because he is just like him. Oh, it's so good. I love these morally grey sorcerers. I just have a thing for them. I have a thing for morally grey sorcerers. It's a very fast-paced book. Like, all these events like happen very quickly, and so I'm just constantly sitting here like, well, where's it gonna go next? Like, what's gonna happen for the rest of this book? And so we'll see, but I'll update you when I finished it. And yeah. Hello. Okay, so I have finished Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I really enjoyed it. Like, so many twists and turns happened towards the very end, and like the plot just has a lot of things going on. I'm super intrigued to see where it goes in book 2. Once again, I want to just reiterate, I absolutely adore the writing style. Elizabeth Lim is an author who just writes so beautifully and so lyrically, and the way that she just describes everything is just gorgeous. The romance was really sweet, a really cute slow burn, and I just was like shipping them, even though I was like, this is never going to end well for either of them. So really did love it. Yeah, solid 4 out of 5 stars. First book done for this. I'm just finished up the Mafia Romance readathon, so I'm not really in the mood to read more like romance heavy books, so I think I'm gonna switch and make The Waking Forest the next book that I pick up for this. I'm really excited to start it, and once I've gotten like 30-40% of the way through it, I will give you an update and let you know what I think and the blurb of this book, because I can't explain it to you otherwise right now. I have no idea what this book is about, so we'll find out together. Okay, bye! I am currently like halfway through The Waking Forest by Alyssa Weiss. It's weird. It's a really weird book. Like, it's written in the way that The Girl Who Drank the Moon and The Burn the Nightingale is, like in that very lyrical, fairy tale-esque way. But it's also mildly kind of like a horror thriller fantasy. Basically, what this book is about is you have 2 different point of views. You have the witch's point of view and you have Ria's point of view. And Ria has 3 sisters, and they all kind of have like this weird psychic dream ability where like they have these premonitions in their dreams, and sometimes they come true, sometimes they don't. And Ria, out of all of her sisters, is the only one that has like the same recurring dream all her life. And all her life, it has never changed until this book starts off, and suddenly at the end of the dream, there's always a door, and this one time she finally opens the door, and it turns out she actually sleepwalked like in her house and opened the door to the attic, and no one really ever goes up there. And she's like, okay, well, if I keep dreaming of the attic, if I ended up here last time, maybe I should just sleep in the attic, see if that fixes things. So she goes up to go sleep, and it's like complete darkness, and then she starts hearing some breathing, and she's really creeped out by this, and she's like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, and she's a little bit afraid, and she's like, maybe it's one of my sisters come check on me. And so she speaks into the darkness. She's like, Rose is one of her sister's names. And then instead there's a voice that speaks back, and it's a boy's voice, and he goes, no, it's not Rose. And I'm just like, that was creepy. That was such, like, the beginning 50 pages were like the creepiest, and then since then it's just been weird as all hell in a fever dream. But like, that scene was really creepy. I sat there reading it and I was like, no. But anyway, so there's this boy who lives in the darkness and who is the darkness. He says, I can help you with your curse, I can help you with these visions you're having. And she's like, okay, like what do I have to do to break my curse? And he goes, well, to play my game, there's only one thing you need to do. And she goes, what is it? And he goes, you have to say my name, and you have 3 tries. And she's like, well, how am I supposed to guess that? And he goes, well, we've met before, you know me. And she goes, I have no recollection. He's like, well, that's the game. And so at first she's like, okay, whatever, like, I can do this, I'll figure this out. But then what she doesn't know is there's actually a price, and for every day that she does not figure out what his name is, she will lose someone close to her. And so like, that's now happening. So that's Ria's point of view in her like storyline. And the other storyline is the witch. And the witch is the witch of wishes. And she's like 17 summers old apparently, which I thought was like weirdly young, but that's okay. And so what she does is she grants wishes every night to young children who have a specific want, and normally they're like 5 or 6 years old. What she does is she has this rose that is growing instead of her heart, like so where her heart would be is a rose. And so when she grants a wish, she cuts open her chest. Every night she cuts open her chest, takes out a petal from the rose and gives it to a child, and that will then grant them their wish. And then every night she sews her chest back together and the petals reform. But then one day there are these 2 older children who end up coming, and she's really weirded out by this brother and sister because she's like, what is this? this is not like, they're normally children, like why are they the older kids here? And then the next day, the boy reappears, but in fox form. And she's like, what's going on? She's very annoyed at this and she feels kind of betrayed. But then the boy starts saying, I can tell you some stories. Do you know that there's other worlds out there? And so then he starts coming every single night to tell her stories and like fairy tales and folklore and mythology. And that's their storyline. It's just really weird. Like it's a total fever dream. And like, it's just so strange. And I'm curious to see how the two of them are going to like connect, how these two storylines will connect, how the witch and Rhea will be like related to one another. I'm not sure how that works yet, but I am curious. I mean, it's pretty average so far. I'm reading it, I just don't know where this is going and it's just weird. So, I mean, it's very 50-50. I would say it's like an average 3 stars because like it is so nicely written and very lyrical and beautiful, but it's just, I just don't get it, so. Hey, okay, so I have finished The Waking Forest. I feel bad because it was really nicely written. Like there were so many beautiful quotes and moments. Like I was tapping like a fair amount in this book, like being like, wow, that's a really nice line. That's such a beautiful description. Like this is just gorgeous. The problem is that like while it was a beautiful book, the plot was a mess and a half. Like the plot was all over the place. And like, I get it. I understand where it came to at the end. There were still some plot holes that I was like, I don't really understand how this happened with this. And like, it was just like, it was fine, but like, it was really a mess. And honestly, by around about halfway through, I was just slugging through it and I was like, I just want to get this done. I just want to get this finished because I don't understand half the shit that's happening in this book. Like, I get what's going on, but I was just like, this makes no sense. It just felt like a gigantic fever dream at the end of the day. And like the very back third, I was like, this is just a completely different book. And I was just like, I don't know. So I'm giving it a 2.5. I feel really bad, but it's a 2.5. Like this is not a 3-star book. So that's that. And then I did start Would Like to Meet. And I'm really liking that one so far. So we're following Evie Summers. She's 29 years old and she is an assistant at a screenwriting agency. And the agency has one really massive client that like brings in all their money, and that is Ezra. And he is like this hotshot, although he's not really a hotshot because he only has one film that he wrote that got like all these Oscars. And so he's more like a one-hit wonder, honestly. And he is supposed to have this new screenplay ready like now. And the people who bought it are like, fine, we'll give him an extra 3 months, but if that doesn't happen, like, we want all our money back. This is ridiculous. And so Evie is tasked with convincing Ezra to like, you know, finish the script. And when she gets there, he is just like, he's an asshole, honestly. He's just an egotistical asshole. And so she gets there and she's like, hey, I'm here to help. And he's like, well, I haven't even written it and I refuse to write it because my caliber of writing, my amazingness is too good for a rom-com. I am not someone who writes rom-coms. Those are cheesy and they're unrealistic and that is just not up to my standards. And she's like, bro, you don't understand. If you don't write this screenplay, we're all screwed. We're all gonna look like dumbasses. You need to get this done. And he's like, well, they're just meet cutes aren't real. And she's like, I'll show you. I will go out into the world. I will recreate meet cutes from all those rom-com films that have done well, and I'll show you that it's realistic. And he goes, okay, sounds like a deal. If you can prove to me that you can actually meet someone through a meet cute, then I'll write it. You'll get your story. And she's like, okay, done, dusted. I mean, I don't know. I'm only like 30% in, but I don't think the romance is actually going to be between her and Ezra. I think the romance is going to be between her and this like single dad, because she goes to this cafe and she tries to, you know, do the whole meet cute of spilling your drink on someone and it being like a meet cute. And it goes horribly, and it goes horribly twice. And so after each of these meet cutes, she sits at this table and there's this dad and this daughter there. The daughter, the little girl, is so adorable. She is actually deaf. She has a hearing aid in so she can hear what people say, but she does primarily sign and things like that. And Evie kind of starts making this whole relationship with this little girl, Annette, and Annette is just so interested in like all these meet cutes and all these different stories that she comes up with, and it's just a really adorable girl. And so she's kind of starting to bond a little bit with the dad, but the dad's very reluctant and closed off. I'm really hoping that it's their romance because, you're seeing it kind of build up, and like they're just such lovely people, and they really both deserve happiness. And like this little girl is amazing. I think she's my favorite character in this entire thing. Like, oh my god, she's so adorable, and it just like, my heart for this girl is just like, ugh, everywhere. So like, I really love that. And then of course you have all of Evie's friends, and then her friends are hilarious. Evie also has this roommate Jane, who is sexually adventurous, to say the least. It's a pretty good read. I'd say it's pretty average. I mean, there's nothing like too special about it, but you know, if this does end up being like a single dad widower romance, I'll be here for it so hard. I'll be so excited. If this does end up being a romance between Evie and the screenwriter Ezra, I probably won't like it as much. So we'll see how this keeps on going. I have high hopes. What's it? Okay, so I just want to let you know, as you can tell, I'm exhausted. What was I even talking about? I'm such a mess. Okay, I'm 60% into Would Like to Meet, and okay, first off, I get why it's called Would Like to Meet, because it has to do with one of the meet cutes that she does, but I feel like there could have been a better title for this. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I definitely think that her and the single widow dad are definitely going to be the end game, and that makes me really excited, because like their progression has been extremely slow burn, but I actually really love the slow burn. And it's strange because I feel like I never used to love slow burn romances, but over the years I've kind of like begun to warm up to them more and more, and they're definitely something that I kind of really dig, and it's just really sweet, and I'm enjoying it. This is so relatable. She's overworked, she's overstressed, she's worrying to the max, everything is just awful, and it's just like, I don't know. This book is very relatable for this time in my life, and I'm just like, some bits of it hit a little close to home, but it's really fun otherwise, and I am laughing out loud at some places, which is really great, because I needed that. I needed some laughters, and it's been really fun. So I wanted to do a little 60% update, and the next one will be when I finish it. Hey, okay, so I have finished Would Like to Meet. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not like the end all be all of rom-coms, and it's not like the best romance I've read, but it was fun, and it was definitely like better than the average 3-star, because there were some really great laugh out loud moments, and like I said, Evie is an extremely relatable main character, and I like the progression of everyone over the course of this book. Like, I feel like a lot of our characters had growth, especially when it came to Evie and Ben. Ben is the widow single dad character. It was really interesting. There is like, I don't want to call it a love triangle, but there kind of is a love triangle. Like, the love triangle plays a role in like the main conflict of this book, but it's not really like a reciprocated love triangle. It's more like a secondary love interest who has a one-sided love, but not really. I mean, it is a hilarious book. There's a lot of things that go down. If you can think of a book where literally every conceivable thing seems to go wrong, that is this book. Everything that Evie tries to do goes horribly wrong, and her poor life is, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. 29 years old and nothing's gone right. Nothing's gone right. But I definitely want to read more from that author. I think from this experience, like, I'm glad I did do this, just because now I have cleared off 3 things from my Netgalley from 2019. But I'm really glad I did get to read Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, because that is a series I definitely want to complete. It's definitely, you know, she's definitely an author who is 100% on my radar. I'm so interested to read more from her. She really is amazing, and I would highly recommend Spin the Dawn. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this reading vlog. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope this was a fun experience. I mean, I know the books didn't do that great. I had 4-star, which is awesome, a 3.5 star, which is not bad, and then a 2-star. I think I'm giving it a 2-star. I think I'm giving it I always feel bad about giving 2 stars. I don't know, I'll think about it, we'll see. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comments what other kind of vlogs you would like to see, because I'm always down to try new things out, and I would love to get your suggestions. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, thanks a bunch, everyone. Bye-bye.